You know, we take it for granted every single day, the world. But what if I told you that the very idea of the world isn't a given, that it actually had to be invented? Let's dive into the incredible story of how we, as a species, built the globe, not with dirt and water, with ideas. So let's just start with that one big, provocative question. What if our feeling of living on a single connected planet isn't some natural state of being at all? What if the world, as we know it, is one of the most powerful and complex inventions in all of human history? To really wrap our heads around this, just look at the difference between these two realities. On the left, you've got the local world. This was the human experience for pretty much forever. Your world was what you could touch, your tribe, your river. The unknown wasn't some distant galaxy. It was literally just over the next hill. And then on the right, there's us. A global world full of abstract ideas like nations and continents, where news is everywhere all at once. The leap from one to the other is just staggering. So, how on earth did we make it? To understand the invention, we have to appreciate what came before it. So let's take a step back to a time when the world, as one single idea, it didn't really exist in anyone's mind. It's a really hard thing to truly imagine, but for millennia, humanity lived in thousands upon thousands of tiny, separate bubbles. Your world might have been a couple hundred square miles max. You weren't a citizen of a planet. You were a member of a clan, an inhabitant of one specific valley. There was no concept of humanity, just us and a very vague, often mythical them somewhere over the horizon. You know, the philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein, he absolutely nailed this idea. The limits of my language mean the limits of my world. Think about it. If you don't even have a word for continent, does it really exist in your reality? Before we could connect the world, we had to be able to speak it into existence. Our mental and physical boundaries were basically the exact same thing. So how did we start to break down those boundaries? Well, the very first step was an act of pure imagination. Before we could connect the world, we had to draw it. We needed a blueprint. And this process, oh man, it took centuries. You can see the evolution right here. It starts with something really symbolic, right? The Babylonian map literally puts its own city at the center of the universe. Then you get a move toward logic. Ptolemy tries to impose a mathematical grid on the world with latitude and longitude. Then comes exploration. The Walt-Semler map just goes for it and draws a whole new reality by naming America. But the climax, the moment our map perfectly matched reality, was 1968, the Earthrise photograph. For the very first time, our abstract idea of a round planet became a real, tangible, visible truth. Okay, so a map is one thing, but a map is just a picture, right? To turn that picture into a connected, living reality, we had to get our hands dirty. We had to build the infrastructure. We had to literally weave a network of technology all over the surface of that map. And this network was built in layers, one on top of the other. First, you get the physical highways, the shipping lanes. Then, a massive leap in 1858, the first transatlantic telegraph cable, shrinking a message that took weeks down to just minutes. Then radio and TV come along and just bypass physical stuff completely, beaming ideas right into our living rooms. And finally, we get the ultimate layer, the internet. A true global nervous system connecting not just places, but billions of individual minds. I mean, just look at this contrast. It's insane. In 1750, to get a letter from London to New York, you're talking 3 to 4 months. Today, a tenth of a second. That's not just an improvement, it's a total collapse of time and space. Our technology didn't just make the world faster, it fundamentally re-engineered how we perceive reality itself. And the density of that connection today is, well, it's just staggering. 475 exabytes. That is 475 times billion gigabytes of data flowing across our planet every single day. That's the constant digital hum of our world, a flow of information on a scale that was pure science fiction just a generation ago. But here's the thing, maps and technology and cables, they aren't enough. The final and maybe the most powerful layer of this global construct is all in our heads. We had to create a shared story, a global consciousness that we could all be a part of. And maybe no one described this feeling better than Apollo 14 astronaut Edgar Mitchell. His words here, they capture what's called the overview effect, this profound, life-changing shift that happens when you see Earth from space. Suddenly, all the borders on the maps, they vanish, and you just see this single,
beautiful, fragile home. Your identity expands. You become a citizen of the planet. And this shared consciousness, it gets reinforced all the time in ways we might not even notice. I mean, think about the Olympic Games. It's a global ritual of unity and competition. Or the United Nations, an attempt at a global conversation. Even shared crises, from world wars to pandemics and climate change, they force us to think as one. They're all ingredients in this shared story, constantly reminding us that we're all in this together.
So, after this whole journey through maps and tech and ideas, where does that leave us? Let's try and put a pin in it. What is this incredible invention that we call the world, really? This brings us to the core idea, the global construct. It's not any one single thing. It's the whole system working together. The maps, the technologies, and the shared ideas, all of it. From the GPS in your phone to that image of the blue marble in your mind. It's this invisible framework that lets us operate on a planetary scale. Honestly, you could almost call it the operating system for modern humanity. And that leaves us with one final, really crucial thought. This whole construct, it's an incredible achievement built over centuries of work. But it's not a law of nature. It's a human invention. And like any invention, it needs maintenance, it's incredibly powerful, but it's also fragile. And the question for our time is, now that we've built this world, what's it going to take for us to keep it?